What's going on, YouTube? It's your girl V the Notary. Hope you guys are having a good day today. So this video is for all of my potential government workers, my current federal government workers, my past, present, future, all of the government workers. I just kind of wanted to get into government shutdowns, how it affects you if you are a federal employee. Should you be nervous? All of those things, right? So we are at the end of February. And as we see, almost every 3 to 6 months, there is this tension in the air. There is this scared, delirious feeling like, oh my God, the government is going to shut down. And the crazy thing is, this is particularly for people who want to work for the government, but government shutdowns affect everyone. National, museums, parks, all of that stuff. The government kind of rules the country, and if it's shut down, it also trickles down to regular civilians. However, let's just talk about how it kind of affects potential, federal employees. Let's just say if you're in the midst of getting hired, how it affects you if you're like in the process, if you currently work for the government, or if you want to, right? So I am not going to, for argument's sake, for lack of a better word, I'm not going to get into the politics of it all, because I just don't feel like arguing with y'all under this video. And I'm going to keep my opinions to myself because I want to keep my job. But, we have the Senate, we have the House, we have Republicans, we have independents, we have Democrats, and presently their ineffectiveness at making decisions and coming to agreements on all kinds of legislation, from child care to interest rates to what's going on at the border to military funding for Ukraine, all of that. We know that because of that those lack of decisions affect the budget. And when there is no budget, there is a risk for a government shutdown, okay? It just is what it is. We're currently under a CR, which is a continuing resolution, which I feel like we're always on a CR, which kind of allows the government to continue to fund its programs, in the midst of, hopefully at the next deadline, getting, their selves together and making some decisions. So we're here at the end of February, right back at the same place we were, I want to say at the end of December, and we are coming up on another potential government shutdown. Now, what I wanted to address is, should you be afraid? Should you be scared? Like, specifically, if you work for the government, or if you are wanting to work for the government, should all of these threats of government shutdowns every 3 to 6 months, should you be afraid that that is going to affect you? And my answer to you is an emphatic no. You should not be afraid, and I'm going to tell you why. There are a couple reasons. Reason number one, as you can see, usually the shutdown is averted, even though it's like, you're sitting on pins and needles because it happens like at the umpteenth hour. Normally it doesn't happen, okay? Usually somebody comes to their senses, to even if it's a temporary agreement, and they continue to have us on a continuing resolution until, the next threat of a shutdown. However, as it pertains to you as a current or an impending federal employee, that is good because you continue with your operations. And if you are in the middle of like human resources, that continues as well, okay? So that's the number one thing. Number two, I have now worked for the federal government for a total of, how long, y'all? 17 and a half years. Since I have worked for the federal government, there has been 2 shutdowns, okay, since I've been here. One with the Obama administration, and one with when Trump was in office. When Trump was in office, I think that was the longest shutdown. I want to say it was a little over a month. maybe a month and a half. And I want to say, what was that, 2018, 2017. And then when Obama was in office, I want to say it was 2.5 weeks. So that still sounds like a lot of time, but in the grand scheme of things, normally, you know, I've talked to some of my colleagues who have been with the government 30, 40 years, and I don't think that there has been a shutdown as long as the one for Trump. So the good thing is that when the shutdowns do happen, they're not for that long, okay? So that's, you know, the second thing. The fourth reason why you shouldn't be worried is because you will get paid back, okay? You will get paid back. And just a little tidbit, in case you guys didn't know this, I do my primary banking with Navy Federal. Some people, this is not an advertisement for Navy Federal, but I'm just telling you, if you have your direct deposit going to Navy Federal, in the event that there is a shutdown, they give you your money up front and then they just take it back like when you get paid. So that won't interrupt, you know, your flow. You'll continue to get money from Navy Federal because they know you're going to get paid back. So, and I don't know what other banks that do that. I think there are other banks that do that. So the good thing about it is you will get your money back. I don't know anyone. And the military runs a little different. I don't want to speak for the military. I want to say they get their money back too. However, I know I have lots of friends and people that I know that work at all the different agencies, and everybody has gotten their money back, okay? So that is the third reason why you should not let the shutdown discourage you from applying for the government or make you nervous and feel like you need to leave, okay? And the final reason why you shouldn't be nervous, y'all, is the federal government is probably the most stable career and job, period, okay? Federal government's not laying people off, you know, like I mean, you just see, I just saw today, Sony just laid off like 900 people from their PlayStation team. You know, you're seeing these huge, you know, corporations and companies every year, Amazon, Tesla, they're all laying people off. That just does not happen with the government. You know, we might have to deal with little shutdowns here and there, but in the grand scheme of it all, our job is very, very stable. You damn near had to steal money from the government to get fired, you know. I mean, obviously, if your work performance is bad, but overall, that's one of the really great things. In addition to having a really, really good quality of life, people love working for the government because there is so much stability in it. You know your checks coming. And it's a great environment. It's a great, you know, overall, the federal government is great to grow, and you can do anything in the federal government. We have, you know, people who are physicians, lawyers, you know, doctors. You can be a chemist, you know, so that's the great thing. Regardless of your career, whatever you went to college for, you can do it at the federal government, okay? So I just thought that this was an interesting video because we are coming up on, I want to say the deadline is at March 8th. Or March 3rd, I forget what the deadline is. It might be this Friday, where we are, once again, we're like, dang, what's going to happen with the government? But I just wanted to put your worries to rest because in the unlikely event that it happens, it won't last that long and you will get your money back, and the government is still a very, very stable entity to work for, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day. As always, like, subscribe, and share, you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.